Where's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. I just got done seeing Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, which of course is the long-awaited sequel to Beetlejuice. I've already said his name 3 times. Now I need to preface this video by saying I am not a huge Beetlejuice fan. I've only seen the first movie about 3 times, I want to say. I watched it once years ago when I was younger. I watched it again a couple years ago randomly, and then I watched it again in preparation for this movie. Now, I know this is a beloved movie by many people. Like, if you go to any Halloween store, or like Spirit Halloween in particular, like, there's always Beetlejuice stuff. It's definitely one of Tim Burton's like most iconic films. You could debate it is the most iconic of his. But again, for me, I'm just a casual fan. Like, I've never seen the movie as like a cinematic classic or anything like that. Now, I was excited for this movie, though, because, of course, Michael Keaton returned as Batman last year, and he knocked it out of the park. And I'm happy to report it's the same thing here. This guy has not lost a beat, and neither has any of the other old cast. Like Winona Ryder or Catherine O'Hara, they literally slip back into these roles like it's the next day or something, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. And I'm very happy about that, like I said. And there are a lot of new characters in the movie. Of course, Jenna Ortega from Wednesday that Tim Burton made as well, which in my mind is a no-brainer to cast as Lydia's daughter. She's literally the modern-day Lydia in terms of, like, pop culture right now. Like, seriously, she's obviously a rising star, and she just has that gothic, look. And I loved her character. I thought she was great in the movie. Great arc in the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but... And I gotta say, too, other new characters, such as Willem Dafoe, like, he was really funny. Obviously, Willem Dafoe is great in everything he's in, but his character really cracked me up. But unfortunately, at the same time, I gotta say, the movie had a few moments of jokes that didn't land. I saw it in IMAX, and it looked beautiful in IMAX, by the way. So I had a bigger crowd. And unfortunately, like, I want to say probably, like, more so in the first half of the movie, there were certain jokes where it was, like, crickets. You know what I mean? As the movie started, I'm not going to lie, I kind of had this feeling of, like, I don't know if I'm going to like this movie. Like, it's just not really doing anything for me. But then as it got along and the action started to pick up a little bit in the story, I really dug it. I actually really thought the movie got better as it went along. So, in my opinion, the second half was much better than the first half. The first half of the movie is really, it's a lot of talking. Like, there's a lot of the characters just hanging around talking. There's no real plot happening. I mean, obviously they're planting seeds for the rest of the movie, but the first half of the movie, the pacing was kind of weird for me. But at the same time, I actually kind of enjoyed seeing these characters sitting around talking. Like, I like these characters. So, Justin Theroux, his character is very unlikable, and, that was intentional. Monica Bellucci plays pretty much the main antagonist. I'm not going to reveal too much, but she was a generic kind of villain, She didn't really do much for me. She had a great introduction scene, I'll say that. Her character design was really cool, and she was creepy, but again, she didn't really do too much for me. And Beetlejuice, of course, seriously, Michael Keaton, just like in the first movie, he doesn't have a lot of cumulative screen time when you put all of his screen time together. He's barely in the first movie, from what I know. But it's kind of the same case in this movie. Like, when he's on screen, he steals every scene he's in. And that's a great thing, obviously. So Michael Keaton, seriously, you're fantastic. I don't think they're ever going to make a third one, but if they do, why not? But yeah, for me, this movie wasn't anything mind-blowing. Again, the first movie, I don't really hold it in any high regard. So I'd probably give this movie like an 8 out of 10, and I think that's a very fair score. And I need to mention, too, there is great use of practical effects in this movie. Like, seriously. That's one thing I always give kudos to Tim Burton. He uses a lot of practical stuff and stop motion and all kinds of different filmmaking techniques. And this guy, he's never, in all his years of making movies, he's never really lost his style. Like, he's never lost touch with the Tim Burton flair that he brings to all his movies. You know what I mean? I know he's got some bad movies, but overall, this guy has always been consistent in being an auteur. That's the term for directors that have their own sort of, style or whatever. And I always got to give kudos to any movie, especially nowadays, that uses practical stuff. Big practical sets and great effects, I mean, there's CGI, obviously, but everything looks good in this movie. Like, it looked very nice, obviously. It was, I believe it was filmed for IMAX, and it looked great in IMAX, so. But yeah, like I said, 8 out of 10, nothing mind-blowing. As the movie started, like I said, I was kind of leaning more towards like a 7, and depending on how the movie would have ended, I might have gave it a 6, but thankfully it got better as it went along, and I'm pretty much just going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think that's a very generous score. I know early reviews for the movie were kind of mixed, so I was kind of worried a little bit. But I enjoyed it, I thought it was a fun time. I'll probably buy the Blu-ray. Again, it was a great looking movie. So, but yeah, I really don't have much else to say. I feel like this review is pretty quick. But I'm just not really a huge Beetlejuice fan, so, I review everything I see now, obviously, so I'm just gonna do this review regardless. But yeah, definitely check it out if you're a Beetlejuice fan. I'm sure you seen it already. I know there was like early screenings last week. People were seeing this really early. But it was a fun movie, like I said, so definitely check it out. I don't think it's as bad as people are, probably saying it is. Like, just kind of, I don't want to say turn your brain off. It's not one of those movies you got to turn your brain off. But just don't take it so seriously. You know what I mean? This movie's supposed to be goofy. Beetlejuice, the character, inherently is a fucking goofball, so just have fun with it. But yeah, that's really about it. I don't have much else to say. I felt like this review is really quick. I don't think I'm missing anything. There's no post-credit scene. I checked, because you never know. And I'll say, too, there's certain actors from the first movie that are, controversial in 2024. You probably know which ones I'm referring to. And the way the movie handles that is clever. I really like the way the movie handled that. It was very creative. So, and again, the afterlife setting and all that stuff is, it's top notch. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of the film in the comments. Let me know your rating. And that's about it. I'm trying to think of the next movie that's coming out. I know Joker is in the beginning of October. I don't know if there's anything else coming out this month. There probably is. I'm just totally blanking on it. Yeah, I'm sure there's something. I just can't think of it. But whatever. I don't know what the next review is going to be, is what I'm saying. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.